beings of this beautiful universe. Welcome to Now. I will start today's video, as always, with this beautiful Tibetan singing bowl and let the good energy flow out throughout in this beautiful universe. And I just found from the notes which I made in 20th of October 2023, amazing, beautiful book I was reading then. And that was of Carlos Castaneda, The Wheel of Time. So this book has got a lot of wisdom and I wanted to make this video wherein I can share the insights with you people. So the first point that he talks about is when a warrior learns to see, he sees that man is a luminous being, whether he's a beggar or he's a king. So basically, you're not judging a human on earth based on what they have and how much social status they are actually having at that moment. You see to every person on the planet as a luminous being. And watch this, the moment you observe somebody as a luminous being, their awareness about themselves also shifts. So, what does that mean? Like, let's say some hater energy was thrown at you by somebody who had a bad day or somebody who was in general in a bad mood, right? But the moment you are actually watching them as a luminous being, they can sense that you're not watching them through a lens of judgment, and they can sense that actually you are seeing something different in them which they themselves have never seen. So that in turn tends to bring about a source of light in them. That is the power of seeing as a luminous being. How wonderful, isn't it? Then the next thing he talks about is a warrior never worries about his fears. Instead, he wonders about seeing the flow of energy. The rest is frills, unimportant frills. Nothing is ever the same, and yet it is the same. How wonderful. So, you're not concerned about the fear really as a warrior. We are watching the flow of our energy. How do we feel about our energy sense? Is it going up? Are you feeling like dancing? Or are your energies making you feel some rumblings in your gut? How are you feeling in your lungs? Are they breathing happily? Are the cells in your lungs happy? Or do you feel like it's contracting? You need to breathe. Breathe that good pranic energy, because if you have more pranic energy, that's when you can create whatever you are capable of. Do you see where I'm coming from? So, rest all is frills, unimportant frills. So don't worry about giving attention to useless things. That's what Carlos Castaneda talks about. And I love this guy. Each man, each woman, each human basically, man is just an example. It's for everyone, man, a woman, child, young, old, everyone born on the planet. Each human is a luminous being. It's a luminous egg. So, who are your allies now? Allies are the inexplicable energy, inorganic beings. So, what is the warrior's way to be light? Warrior's way to be light is once decided he doesn't go back until he keeps himself free. So that means a warrior is not generally doing a lot of goal setting like how a normal person does. I need this, I need that. No. A warrior's way of life is completely free and they flow with time. And as and when the requirement comes in, the warrior sets the goal and then he wins over it, he accomplishes it. Once that is done, he keeps some free spot for himself. He enjoys his free time. A warrior is not about 24 hours for 10 next years. You are just going to go on, go on putting yourself on such a fast track way that you are on the verge of burnout. So this is what he says, that warrior's way to be light is once decided, he doesn't go back. Until then, he keeps himself free. Then, when warrior is in confusion, how does a warrior handle confusion? He thinks about death. Death is everywhere. Death never stops. So, see how beautiful. Death is everywhere. Death never stops. Yeah, I wanted to show this because it's very beautiful, bright yellow bangle and orange bracelet that I got from Vrindavan when I went in January. So beautiful. But anyway, so coming back to the topic, he says that how does a warrior handle confusion? So you handle confusion by being aware of your death. Death is everywhere, death never stops. So don't think about security. Don't think of your body. Don't even trust your body. Like we think body is your best friend. At least this body is your best friend. But this too can leave you anytime. So better to be with who you are, which is not the body, which is not the mind, which is just the state of existence, just your being. I was watching a video of Osho last night, and of course I love Osho. I'm his huge fan. He's genius. What a genius! What a human being! Fabulous! Like such a divine child of God, I should say. And he talks about, see, people have got a lot of apprehensions about Osho because those fools who have just taken and misunderstood his teachings in a wrong way want to talk nonsense about him. But there's a ton of wisdom in what he talks. Again, it depends on the audience. Are they trying to learn the good from him, or are they trying to take his teaching and manipulate it according to how they want to treat it? It's absolutely on them. But anyway, he talked very beautifully about this thing that truly everyone is just alone. Like even in the crowd, you're by yourself, you're alone. So even in a family, even in your office, even in a subway, in train station, you are always alone because truly who you are and how you feel, that is something only you know. Nobody else can know that, no matter however close they are, even if they are your kids or your grandparents. Nobody can actually feel. So everyone's life is unique, and you on your own journey, just like everybody else, are on their own thing. So naturally you are alone, but you are not lonely. That's a difference. You may be alone and you're not lonely. Lonely is a different state wherein you're craving for somebody's external external person's presence. But you're not in need of that because you have just found something so beautiful inside yourself that now you are blooming. And that bloom has happened because you're not so much attached to life. You know that there is this aspect of death, and that is there all the time. Because somebody who has not understood death can never learn how to live life. And know that death happens every day. Death happens in every breath. Your in breath is life, your out breath is death. But that does not mean that you stop exhaling, right? Because you see that this breath process, breathing in and out, is automatic. If it was left on your mind, you would have missed your life long back. No, it's not you who's breathing, you are being breathed. So you were born as a baby, as a newborn from your mother's womb at an in breath. That was the first breath you took as a newborn. And when you are dying in your old age, that would be in your last exhale. This is the law. And in between, we handle life. Back to Carlos Castaneda, the wheel of time. He says, when a warrior is in confusion, he thinks about death. Death is everywhere and death never stops. Warrior should know first that his acts are useless, and yet he must proceed as if he didn't know it. So this is the thing. Although you might find a warrior doing everything very much with passion, they might be doing whatever they do with full on their 100%, but they know very well that whatever they are doing is useless. But still, you just act like it's important. Like, for example, me making this video, I know that it may or may not be of value to someone. But while I'm creating this, I'm having joy. I love creating this. So it's not that I have a lot of expectation from this video that, oh, it should have this many views and my stats should go up. But of course, I'd be happy if if more people resonate with me. If I could find people like me, my vibe, my tribe, of course, by all means, I would love that. But I know for sure that I do not put a lot of weight into whatever I'm doing. I just do it with love, whatever I do. And this is the warrior mindset. Warrior should know first that his acts are useless and yet he must proceed as if he didn't know it. A warrior may choose to be totally passive and act as if nothing mattered, nor bother about the results. So this is the perfect point wherein you do what you can do and you're not interested in to the end result. So even if you are rejected, like say for example, I applied for these many jobs and got rejected, gave these interviews, got rejected. But you don't mind because you know that somehow some other thing is there which is waiting for you and you are meant for that. So when the right time comes and the right opportunity comes, you're ready and you arrive at that because you are prepared. You are just you see before you come to a point of success, you need to go through these stairs of failures, right? So just keep going and just keep failing, and then suddenly something clicks. And don't boast about it, don't have pride about it, because what is given will be taken again, sooner or later. So it's all like the ups and downs. So just keep flowing with it. Don't get too mad because you're on the success side, on the high side of the web, of the tide, or don't get too mad that you are failed now and you were rejected. Something is on its way. Something shall come up soon. Next point. Everything is filled to the brim in a warrior's life. There is no emptiness. A warrior likes, that's all, he doesn't care to be liked. Yeah. A warrior is all about giving. A warrior doesn't think about what am I getting back in return. Warrior just gives in freely because there's love in it. Warrior likes. Warrior, like, you just say, I just feel I like this and I like that. And I don't care about whether I'm being liked back or not. And there is freedom to it. The problem is you're liking something and then you expect them to like you back, and then it's going to get nasty sooner or later. But you can just be in love with existence. You do not need a special very thing. Like, for example, this singing bowl. Of course, I love it. The moment I got, and I've been playing this every single day, this beautiful Tibetan singing bowl. But that doesn't mean that you like it, but you're not too much attached. There's a difference. You like it, you love it, and you completely appreciate the beauty and the sound of it. But you're not attached so much that if someday you don't have a Tibetan singing bowl, you're going to feel I'm missing out. Next thing he talks about is a warrior takes responsibility for what he does. An average man acts out his thoughts and never takes responsibility for what he does. So, the responsible aspect. This is very true. And I'm sure you can resonate with it. Once you have decided that you need to work on this and this is your job, you put all of your focus and attention to it. But you arrive at that point because you have realized that yes, this is what's for me, this is worthy for me. Next thing he talks about is seeing dispels the illusion of victory or defeat. Seeing, the act of observation, dispels the illusion of victory or defeat. A warrior knows that he's waiting and what he's waiting for. Whatever he gets, he's happy with that, as it is more than what he can take. This is so deep. I want to dig this further. A warrior knows what he's waiting for. Whatever he gets, he's happy with that, as it is more than what he can take. See, this idea of satisfaction, but having satisfaction doesn't mean that you're not going to work. So having satisfaction doesn't mean that whatever task or activities life throws at you, you're not going to work on that. So it's like being ready. And when life tells you to act, you're like an actor on the stage of life. And life is the director, the creator, the God. See? And when they tell you, these forces tell you you've got to act, you're ready. And you just act. But before that, you know already that you're more than enough. You're not seeking out something external of yourself that, oh, I'm in lack. I need this, I need that. See, the entire reason for people making their goals and plans is because they do not feel that they're enough right here, right now. And a lot of it is to do with mimetic desires. So somebody is doing something, and even though they might not be so much interested in it, but they see your passion, you doing that, now they want to copy you. Probably they do not have any sort of joy in content creation, but because they see you are doing it, they are copying you. Probably they didn't have a lot of joy in let's say dancing, for example, but because they see somebody else do, then you think, wow, that is my object of desire. This is mimetic desires, and society runs like that. Truly, none of your desires are your own. Your desire of education, your desire of knowledge, your desire of strength, your desire of you should look this way, you should look that way, all of this has been changing over time. Fashion has always changed. Knowledge, which is ever changing, you can never ever have entirety of the knowledge. You can never ever do that, because you see, the deeper you go into a subject, the deeper you get, the more you know that you do not know. So knowledge is such a thing, it's very tricky. Don't just get fooled that once you have started learning this thing and it's been 3 months, and of course you have come long way from zero when you knew nothing to at least 3 months of work. But also, the person who is learning a thing, they know very well, pretty well, that the subject which left unknown by them is way more than what they have learned, and this is always the case. So at no point in time you can say that I know it now. I know 100% of it, because truly nothing can ever be learned 100%. There is an aspect of infinity in every single thing. There's nothing that is limited. Even if you are a runner and you think, I can improve my speed, I can improve my speed, but how much better you can get, this only you are getting to know through practice, right? Through your everyday sprints. But there's no way to know that you could know 100% of all of the techniques in running. So what one does is, to start with, you pick one aspect. You pick one branch of this infinity. Whatever it is, even in music, even in a technology subject, even in philosophy, any subject, in medical, everything in this entire universe, any subject, the more you dig into it, the more deeper it gets. So no point in time can one say, I know 100% of it, because it's you who is deciding what is your 100%. That's only going to cap the depth of it. You're just going to limit it at a certain level. Yeah, so I'll go to the next point. To be in pain or in hunger means that the man is not a warrior. See this. To be in pain or in hunger means that the man is not a warrior. So if you are someone who's too much attached to your pain, and there's no life force in you, you're just living like a zombie, which 99% of the people are. So then you're not a warrior. A warrior lives absolutely fresh in the now. It's always alive in the now. A warrior is not concerned about looking at others and passing judgments on them and making fun of others. That's a coward. That's not a warrior. A warrior never complains. Warrior sees the bullshit of the world and learns how to handle it. But he does not complain why the hater is hating me. He is completely fine. You are completely fine with the fact that the haters be hating you for who you are. You do not tell your hater to please stop hating me, be my friend. You never do that. You let the world be as they are. But you, the warrior, what your job is you cannot delve in the pain for too long. You cannot be in hunger for too long, like, I need this, I'm hungry. I need that, I'm hungry. Then you're already tired. You are not a warrior then. If you have a lot of desires for gaining stuffs so that your ego gets boosted up, you're not a warrior. So I hope that clarifies this point. So then the next point I took note of is indulgence of denying is by the worst. It makes one think that we are doing great things. Indulgence of denying is by far the worst. It makes one think that we are doing great things. Yeah, so this point he's talking about denying. Many times we are denying the problem, many times we are running away from something, and we don't want to face the problem. That gives us illusion, that gives us ignorance, and gives us illusion of comfort that as long as I do not face that problem, I'm safe. But truly, the danger is in you not facing the problem. Probably the problem in itself is not that bad a problem, but you not facing it makes it more fearful. You might have just um, made the image of your problem statement much more bigger than what it really is. So this is what he talks about. Then he says, intent is what a man is when he thinks. His thought says that he has been defeated. Intent is what makes him invulnerable. Intent is what sends a shaman through a wall, through a space to infinity. So this point he's talking about even if you're defeated, even if a warrior has been defeated, which happens, right? Not many times you will win all of the battles of life. There are some battles which you win, and then there are a lot of battles which you have lost. There are a lot, and those battles, the ones which you have lost, in which you have been defeated, he says that it's about his intention. So even though he has failed, but he does not see to that as oh, I'm weak now, I'm not ready for the next battle. Of course, after the defeat, you have been bruised, you have been cut, you need time to recover, and then you rest your way, you get some rest, you take nutrition, and then you heal yourself, and then you just let go of it. See, this is what a shaman does. All this warrior mindset is he's talking about is of a shaman. A shamanic viewpoint means you see things for what they are. You're not living in this world like a blind ignorant person. You're living through somebody who's awake. You're living as a somebody who's light, who does not operate out of darkness. So basically acting from the goodness aspect that I talked about in my video yesterday. Intent is what sends a shaman through a wall, through a space to infinity. Wow. So even though you've been defeated, okay, you as a warrior, you might be at this point in your life and might think that okay, I'm down and beaten and you need to come up. So this feels like a wall, right? You just hit the wall. You just fell to the ground, the failure. But then you, through your sense of awareness, you do not run away from it. You sit with that problem. You sit with that failure. You sit with that defeat. You sit with that rejection. And then you give it space. That wall then turns to space. You see this? So there's this first solid thing, this event that occurred. It's solid like a wall. But through awareness, you have turned it into space. Now there's nothing. This wall that was there is just out. Now there's just space. And from that space, it enters into infinity. See the massiveness. This is very awesome because I was thinking about this same point today, just in a different way. So, for example, your problem is like the smaller eye through which you want to sort your problems is very much like your smaller eye has got a lot of limitations. So you think that this is beyond my capacity now, I can't fix it. But then there's this bigger, huge awareness, and that talks about the universal eye. So it's like a small pond might have stagnant water, and that might rot. There might be a lot of dead leaves and rotten mud in a stagnant pond. But when that goes into the river and into the ocean, all of the impurities are gone. Why? Because of the vastness of the ocean. The ocean is so deep, ocean is so big. It's always flowing, it's always there's always turbulence in that. So there's no when something is in such a movement, there's no probability for rot to happen. So this is the case, the example between a shallow pond and versus an ocean. Same is the case between your small eye, your ego eye, which is like a drop, and the entire ocean, which is the universal eye, that singular eye. And to that universal eye, anything is possible. That universal eye is the creator of this universe. And they can do anything. But when you see through your small eye, you feel, I've got a lot of challenges and I cannot get past it. So this is how he's telling that the problem which looks very solid to you like a wall right now, through the eyes of awareness, you're just watching it. So that is the act of seeing. Through that seeing, you're going to turn it into space. And the question, if you're thinking, how can just my watching, just my observation, turn a solid wall into space? This is what is happening internally. So the problem that you have created as a wall is internal. There's no real wall, right? You are just imagining that this is a problem. But in your mind, the same mind which is telling you this is a problem, now you tell your mind that I'm going to turn you into space. I'm going to turn you into nothing. And this is the magic of the mind. This is all a miracle. And if you don't understand it, you might think that, oh, I'm just so out of control. But this is not true. If you take to yourself as I am creating the problem, then within you is also the power of you giving the solution. Or else you surrender, that you just flow with life, you do not create the problem, so you're not interested in seeing the end result. And you're not interested in coming out of it. You just flow with life. If life sends you good, you enjoy it. If life puts you down, you are in the down phase. You just flow through life. And if you are coming from that responsible mode, I'm responsible for everything, I've got to do, I made that problem, now I should solve it, then you should use this miracle power of the mind. Use whichever way works for you. If you are somebody of strong ego, then you have got a lot of work to do. If you're someone who's from bhakti, who's from devotion, who has an innocent heart, you would come to surrender. This is just by the gunas with which you are born. If you have more of sattva gun, you would take to the path of surrender. If you have more of a tamas and rajas gun, that means your ego state is very strong. I am the doer. I need this. I am going to have that. I am going to achieve this. Then suffer. Pay the price for it. Work for it. then you must suffer. And once you have suffered enough, then get the result. And it's not that surrender is easy. In surrender, also, life will slap you. So then take the slaps. Don't think it's an easy way in either way. Either you are a person of mind as an ego, wherein you take responsibility, I am going to change my life. Suffer. If you come to the path of surrender, there is a lot of suffering there too. Suffer. There is no shortcut in which you can just, there's no way that you're going to escape. this is very, this is nice to laugh at, but when life tests you, of course it's difficult. But know that everyone on the planet who is born is being tested. Your enemies are being tested, left, right, and center. You are being tested. People who are good, they are also being tested. Everybody is put to test. That was the reason your soul made the contract. That was the reason why you were born. There's no escape out of suffering. This is what Buddha talks about in his Four Noble Truths. First noble truth is life is suffering. You might be owning the world, still you've got to suffer. There's no escape out of that. So, coming to this, he talks about this, that how you, through the observation, through your mere being, what is observation? When somebody tells you you should observe, what are you actually observing? Your problem? So you will see that you, as who you think you are, I, something that sits inside your body, primarily in your head space, you feel I, and I you also feel in your chest area, right? You also feel your I through your throat. But when somebody asks you, did you do that work? And you say, yes, I did it. So when you say, I did it, immediately your finger is pointing to your heart. Every being knows, a newborn also knows, a small child also knows. When, before they have got their name, you ask them anything and they'll say, I. And their hand is always on their heart. So you basically think, the I thing, idea of I, which you think who you are, is in your heart space. So what was I talking about? The ordinary's life has been left forever behind. The ordinary life has been left forever behind. You're no more going to live like an ordinary person with ordinary goals, with ordinary standards. All that is left far behind. It's history now. The ordinary way of life has no meaning for him, and he must adopt a new way of life if he is going to survive. So basically, the talking about the change, the act of changefulness, how life is so much ever changing. So you are not going to plan and do stuff according to this and that way. You just tend to flow with life. You're going to adapt. That means you're ever ready for change to happen. You're not resisting it. You're not in a fear mode. Every bit of knowledge that becomes power has death as its central force. See, this is so critical. I've star marked it. Every bit of knowledge that becomes power has death as its central source. So knowledge is infinitely there on the internet, right? It's insane amount of infinite knowledge on the internet. You need not learn something like that. Whatever you want, it's all there on internet. What you are interested in, picking the subject that you want, work on that. Say, for example, if some person wants to learn good cooking, so their subject of interest is cooking, so they are going to find out and filter through on YouTube who are the best chefs on YouTube. So who are the ones who make the best bread? Who are the ones who make the best paneer tikka masala, for example? So you watch those videos and then you think, wow, this is nice, I should try that. So that video becomes your input now. After you have skimmed through 100 videos, you find this is the best one. This is what resonates the best with me that I can cook tonight. So that was the knowledge so far. Your watching was the knowledge. And when you have actually implemented that, when you have actually cooked that, that's when it has become power now. Because then what you learned watching that YouTube video of paneer tikka masala, and once you have made it and you are eating it, that's when it has turned to power. Now you know that, oh, this is how I'm going to make it. This is how my gravy standard has improved than how I used to make before. And you're not putting these standard checks because just to document it, just to put a percentage to it. It's because you want to relish the food. Again, comes down for the love of it, because you love food, because you love good taste. That's why you find the best video, and then you get the best ingredients from grocery, and then you make a very nice gravy. But if you do not cook it, know that that just remains as a knowledge. It's like something you say, yeah, I've done it, but really you have not done it because you did not implement it. Next point he talks about is, as whatever is whatever is to be cured by death indeed becomes power. Whatever is touched by death indeed becomes power. So what is the death there? The death is of you surpassing the limits. Like, you at one point in time you said, I don't know this. Then you went to YouTube, you watched this video, and then you did that act, and that's when you learned it. So before was this intention of I don't know, but after watching that video and implementing, now you say I know. So there has happened a transformation here. You see, from I don't know to I know. I don't know how to make nice butter paneer masala to I know now how to make nice butter paneer masala. So how did this transition happen? There was a death of I don't know and the birth of I know. So this is the touch point of death, wherein you are cutting this limit that I don't know. You are proceeding ahead towards now I know. Okay? Then the next thing is, only the idea of death makes the warrior sufficiently detached so that he is capable of abandoning himself to anything. So true. You see, if you are really thinking about your own mortality, if I'm aware of my mortality, I would let go of a lot of fears. I would let go of all of my fears, maybe. Because you know that anyway, all of this is just a game that we are playing and we will die anyway. So drop the fear. Drop the fear of judgment. Drop the fear of what they say. Drop the fear of being disliked. Be absolutely 100% okay with being disliked. In fact, you should wear it like a badge. Because if you're not disliked and hated by others, that means you're not even trying you're not even taking moves in the right direction. The fact that you are having a lot of haters is itself a pride. People want to be like you, but they cannot be like you, so they hate you. So always take note of that. Next thing he talks about is he knows his death is stalking him and won't give him time to cling to anything. So he tries without caring all of everything. This is very awesome. Lot of powerful men do that. Because a powerful man has got a lot of enemies too. And he would have a lot of haters around him because he's making the right moves. He's powerful, he's strong, he's successful. Naturally, other weaker men are going to hate him for that. So they would turn to his enemies now. And that man knows very well that the rest of the people might just kill him, attack him. But he still, despite the fear of death, he tries all of everything that he can without caring, without fearing. This is the warrior's mindset. Beautiful. That man is beautiful. That woman is beautiful who embodies by this belief. I live by this. I know this is beautiful. And anybody who lives by this mode of operation, That is beauty. There's a lot of beauty in it, and I love it. A warrior who sees energy knows that there is no end to new world of our vision. Wow. A warrior who sees energy knows that there is no end to new world of our vision. So that means you as a warrior, because you're all by yourself most of the time. So you need to develop a good sense of imagination. And how do you develop a good sense of imagination? Because you have seen that in this world, if you do not find beauty, you want to create. If you do not find sweetness, you want to create. Like I was watching this very nice YouTuber yesterday, and she makes so awesome, very cute little toys, this tiny thumb-sized toys. She's making completely out of love. So, and all of her toys are so much. Every single toy that she makes is so cute and so round. It's just very awesome. Just watching that video gives you a lot of joy, instant joy. You see, like, wow, how did she create that invisible being that was not there? Now she has made that cute thumb-sized toy, which is smiling and it's round and very cute and chubby. so, so this is the creator mentality, and she got into the creator god mode from the past, in the sense that if there's nothing there and life seems boring, you turn to the creation mode. You want to create something, because if you are not in the creator mode, you are in the other side, the dark side of it. Where you feel, I'm not happy with what is given to me. I want to create something beautiful. And this is the same mindset how a writer writes. They want to express themselves. Their voice is not heard. That's why the singer sings, because their voice is not heard. So how do they express? They express through music. Music is my best beautiful form of expression. Music is my war. Music is my sword too. I can slay through music. I can slay through my dance. There is beauty, but there's also a sense of uh, there's also a sense of, what should I say? There's also an element of destruction in it. Because while you are creating something, you are creating not only out of love, you're also creating to destroy the negative. When you dance, you're not just dancing out of love, you're dancing, one dance is out of devotion. Like you just melt and you just dance out of devotion. That is complete melting of your ego. And the other dance is when you want to destroy the negativity in the world. That is a dance of destruction. That is Shiva dancing through you. That is when you harness the Shiva's energy. Hari Om Tat Sat. Tandav, Shiv Tandav. And when I do that dance, I feel like Shiva is moving through me. That is awesome. The energy surge I feel. Wow. But the problem is, if you do not channel that energy, you feel like you're going to die. So you've got to turn it into art. You've got to make it into music. You've got to turn it into a dance, into a song. You just cannot be with that energy. It will destroy you. So learn to channel the energy. And then the thing is, he knows his death is talking and won't give him time to cling to anything, so he tries without caring all of everything. A warrior who sees energy knows that there is no end to new world of our vision. We spoke about it. Death is you and your writing pad. Death is here and it isn't here at all. Death is nothing. So even while I was writing this in 2023, death is you and your writing pad. Right now, you sit with death. You watching my video right now, you are sitting with death. Me holding this thing right now, I'm sitting with death. People around listening to me right now, they are sitting with death. They are just unaware of their death. But we all are here now This now is death, because the moment it has gone, you're never going to get back. And still, the funny thing is, you're constantly thinking of the future. How I'm going to live in the future. How does my future hold? Though the future will exactly come like now, and you will not value it, because you would be again in that future, you would be thinking of the next future. So no matter how much amount of things you have, you're constantly going to think of next. This is a black hole. It's better to be aware and just unwind into now, because you know that this moment is never going to come back. The moment of yesterday is never going to come back, however pleasant or unpleasant it was. Whatever problems you had of yesterday now just lives in the memory of your mind. It's not here right now. Things which you have left undone, those actions are there that you need to take action on, if at all you have to. There might be things you might want to leave abandoned, because because that might have just lost its vitality, its importance. Anyway, I'll move to the next point. Spirit of warrior is not geared to complaining, nor it is concerned with winning or losing. So see this, how people are living their lives with, I have to be successful, I have to be doing this and that. But a warrior mindset is completely different. Warrior is not concerned with winning or losing. They just do things to their best capability, to the best of their effort, but they are not concerned with winning or losing. Every struggle is a warrior's last battle on earth. Warrior life is only about struggle. Thus, the outcome matters very little to him. Absolutely true. How beautiful. A warrior's life is all about struggle. What is a warrior doing? You might be any human who would be struggling with day to day activities, which we all do. Everybody has got their own struggles. But the outcome matters very little to him. So you do whatever thing needs to be done. Or there might be days when you feel that like you had a lot of burnout and you need to relax. Just relax. Don't feel guilty that, oh, I'm relaxing while others are grinding. Let them grind. It's their time to grind. It's your time to rest. Just rest. Absolutely guilty free. Take care of yourself. If you want to relax and eat well, treat yourself to a nice place. Get yourself the best things that you want. And rest. Get a nice book and take some good shower. Make yourself some nice tea. Rest and read. Light up an incense and just relax. You should not have any guilty in relaxing. Relaxing is good, because once you are fully relaxed, you get a lot of clarity in what you need to do. And also, not just about what you need to do. You just come to a state of being. You just arrive from your being. So you're not going to get too mad, oh, I need to do this, I have to do that. Just unwind into the feminine energy inside you. The masculine energy in you, within one human, you always have these two energies, masculine and feminine, yin yang. So the masculine is about the action, the feminine is about art, creativity, how she can make things beautiful. That's why even in a family, you see that what the man does, like in a traditional families back then, in the olden times, how it was that the man would do the work, and he would cut the woods, for example, and sell the woods in the market, and then he would get the money. And what would the wife do? She would get those. She would do the grocery and she would do the cooking. She would decorate the house. She would buy beautiful flowers. She will make a nice garden. Though the garden making was also, I think, the man's job. Both would take participation in it. But even if you absolutely live by yourself, someone like me, even if you are all by yourself alone, even inside you, and it does not matter you're a man or a woman, you have these two energy aspects. At the energetic level, you have these two. So the male aspect takes action in the external world, and the female aspect inside you, she thinks of how she can keep you in comfort. That is the feminine. And within you is your inner child. So the child you have grown out of, that truly never leaves you, even though you are 80 years old. Your inner child is always there inside of you. So you cannot say that I'm 80 years old, so I was just, no, I don't have a child. You always have your inner child in you. That's why you would see that life is like a circle. Once you are young and you are childish, and then in your years of youth and adulthood, you get money, make house, make whatever you want to make in this world. And then as you start getting old, again you start to go back to your childish like things. In old age also, man becomes like a child. So this is the circle of life. And if you are moving with the circle, you're not going to get too much trapped with your ego, false ego things that I've got to be winning this. That is a very weird kind of mindset, because that is going to that is going to spoil your mood for the day if you have not won. Why you want to do that? Just because your ego gets crushed, just because you feel defeated. And even if you won, who are you going to show your success to? On social media for few likes. Likes by strangers who we don't know. Just to give us an illusion, the statistics, the number, it will give me an illusion that maybe somebody is there who thinks that I'm not useless. Somebody is there in this world who thinks, okay, at least you are making something. But it's not. That's why a warrior's mindset is not like I'm doing this to win, or I'm going doing this to 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 control others, to change others' viewpoint. They just do for the joy of it. They just do it for the love of it. There's no agenda. We will all die. We are all dying right now. Don't wait for tomorrow, because in tomorrow again you will think for the next tomorrow. So you're like constantly postponing your life to the next point. For what? It's not needed. It's just not needed. I came to this very bold confrontation today that all of the bullshit I've been telling myself, I need to do this, I need to do that. Why? Because I just have the fear that when I deal with the bankers, they're going to deny me this. Just because I have fear that when I'm going to deal with the external world, which has got so many wolves out there, they want to just eat you financially, and they do not have best interest for you. So be it. The problem is we are attached to result. I want to hear a yes from them, and I fear the no in the background. So because of that, I think so much that I do not even make that call, because of the fear of rejection, because of the fear of the consequence that it might hold, and how I am unaware of how would I react when my ego gets shattered. I'm also human. I also have my ego. See, if I didn't have ego, I'm not going to survive. And to live and survive in the world, I do need to have an ego. So ego is not a totally useless thing. Ego is there to defend you, but also know that this ego is also a cheat inside of you. So don't trust it too blindly. But know that you need ego. If you are completely egoless, how are you going to defend yourself? Again, about this defense, if you are thinking too much about I am going to keep myself safe and sound all the time, that is not a warrior mindset. Because then if you die and if you lose your life, and if something not nice happened, you're going to again come back to this thing. I'm in pain, I'm a victim. But you're not going to sit with that for too long, because you know that this is how the life is. So you take that and you move on with it. You're not going to stop and stagnate just because of the fear aspect. You're not going to stop creating because you're fearful of how others are going to think or see you as. But ego is needed just in order to operate, right? The ego is like the waves. So it's not that you should not have ego, means like an ocean should be devoid of wave. How could that be? There's an ocean, within there is wave. Same as the entire ocean is the existence of I am, your awareness, and you, who you think I'm Anshu, and you are with your name, whatever. That is like a wave. You cannot separate the ocean and the wave. But the wave should be aware of the expanse of the ocean and not only think that I'm only this wave and I should try by all means to just hold on to it, because the wave knows very well that it will come to an end. The moment it meets the shore, that's the end of the wave. Right? So the spirit of warrior is not geared to complaining or gossip, nor it is concerned about winning or losing. Every struggle is a warrior's last battle on earth. Warrior life is only about struggle. Thus, the outcome matters very little to him. Another thing, warrior is not concerned about telling you did not do this. They are not about finger pointing others. If they've got problem with someone, they speak directly to them, and they have the best interest of the other person. And then you teach them how to do it. You do not just crib and complain. That is a cribbing mentality. That's a complaining mentality. A warrior never complains. They teach how you do it. That's a massive difference in the mindset. Normally, what do weak people do? What do cowards do? They complain, they gossip, they laugh at you, they give you looks with their cheap eyes. Right? Why? Because they just cannot stand your light. Because they cannot anyhow understand how are you operating at that energy, at that level with nobody. Because you are not attached, because you are not trying to solidify yourself as I'm the doer. You are not of the doership mentality. You are just trying to flow with life. Whatever life brings, you are ready. But apart from that, you are not overburdening yourself like rest of the people do. They want to pack too many items in a day in their day-to-day agenda. How could that be? You might make a huge to-do list of 20 items, but finally at the end of the day you see that you did only one. So what has happened here? Your assumption of your own self is highly overrated, because somewhere inside you do not want to accept that I don't know this. You want to assume that I already know that. So since I already know that, I should be able to do complete all of these 20 items. But when you sit with yourself, your ego gets crushed, and it's nobody else who's crushing it. You have seen for yourself that you are not capable. Now that point in time you fall flat on your face. And that is the reason of self-hate. So don't over expect things from yourself. Because when you see that you are not able to meet those goals which you set, you are going to hate yourself. And this self-loathing is very normal. And know that if you are against yourself, there's nobody out who can help. There are enough haters, enough idiots in the world outside. Make sure at least you are not your own hater. You do not turn against yourself. This is what Sadhguruji says. Beautiful Sadhguru, he talks about this. You cannot handle the world externally, but you have 100% control of how you turn out to be your best friend. So even if you are alone, you know how to handle your energies. And that's why world loves Sadhguru. That's why all of his courses, inner engineering or all of his experiments, talks, world follows him for that, for a reason. I love Sadhguru. And I completely agree with this. The most important thing is to be your own best friend so that your mind works for you, not against you. So that means to see for what your capabilities are at a clear level. And before you see that, you need to clear your lens. So the brain fog must disappear. The cleaning needs to happen before the clarity comes. And from the clarity, then we zoom out to the glory, to the path of glory. That is a glorious life. Life lived in clarity, life lived in truth, life lived in bliss. And know that walking this path is not easy. There will be troubles, but you are not scared of troubles. You are learning through each struggle that is sent your way. You are learning through all of the troubles that being sent your way, how to sort it. You are learning to sharpen your mind. You are learning to sharpen your skills. Why? Because like a woodcutter who cuts the woods, so if his axe is sharp, he can now cut the woods very efficiently in shorter span of time. But if his blade is blunt, then he's not going to cut that tree nicely. So that's all he talks about in his awesome book, which is Beat of Time. Next video I would make about his journey to Ixtalan and lessons of Don Juan. So yeah, I love these videos and I love my notes. I made lots of notes. I have lots of diaries and notebooks written. Yeah, and I also write in the middle nice quotes like love, abundance, self-worth, self-love, and self-acceptance, like so. And of course, I draw a lot of art as well. Like I drew this Japanese temple. I've always been very enchanted by Japanese temples. I don't know why. In a beautiful forest with cherry blossoms. I think I like the pagoda style, like how it's even in the Himalayan ranges. People have got houses like this, so beautiful. And in Nepal also they have, you can find houses like these. And I find there's a lot of serenity in that, in those pagoda shaped houses. There's a lot of natural beauty, and the way how those houses are sitting in nature, in forest, with river flowing behind our mountains, beautiful sun rising, birds chirping. Wow, very beautiful. Like so. So that's all I wanted to speak in this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.